everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the events that took place in November of 1992, which is the month and the year that I was born in. I'm going to be starting off from the beginning of the month and then going to the end and just describing and highlighting each event that took place. Starting on November 1st, 1992, the Columbia 13 space shuttle landed at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. There were 6 crew members, and the mission was to deploy a satellite. On November 3rd, 1992, we elected our first African American woman into the U.S. Senate, and her name was Carol Moseley Brown. Also on November 3rd, 1992, Bill Clinton was elected the President of the United States, and his opponent was George H.W. Bush. On that same day again, Whitney Houston released her cover of Dolly Parton's single, I Will Always Love You, which in turn, in 1993, was the #1 top hit single. On November 7th, my birthday, the first NBA game was played at the American West Arena, and the Phoenix Suns beat the Clippers 111-105. On that same day, Notre Dame also beat Boston 54-7 in the college football, and that was a huge deal at that time. On November 8th, 1992, Betsy King won the LGPA Golf Classic in Japan, and 300,000 people demonstrated in Berlin against racism. On November 9th, Howard Stern had his first debut on his radio show in Las Vegas. And on the 11th, the Church of England allowed the ordination of female priests for the first time. On November 12th, Steve Howe, a New York Yankee pitcher, was reinstated for his 8th term. And on November 13th, 1992, Riddick Bowe beat Evander Holywood in 12 for the title of heavyweight boxing. On November 15th, a Cuban airplane, Flight 18, crashed and 34 people were killed. On that same day, NASCAR's 42nd Cup took place with Alan Kulwicki winning. On November 17th, 1992, Erlen Krag began his exploration to the South Pole, which was a successful one. On November 18th, the movie Malcolm X starring Denzel Washington was released. And on November 20th, 1992, Queen Elizabeth's home, the Windsor Castle, caught on fire. On November 21st, 1992, 3 swimming world records were beat for freestyle, medley, and the butterfly, along with an apology from Bob Packwood, who was then the Oregon State Senator, for sexual advances and harassment of 10 women. On November 23rd, 10 million cell phones were sold worldwide. And on November 24th, the Boeing 734 crashed into the China mountains and it killed 141 people. On November 26th, a world-renowned geneticist for DNA fingerprinting by the name of Sir Alex Jeffreys was awarded Freeman of Leicester. On November 27th, Howard Stern interview premiered on E-Network channel. Some famous November birthdays are Odell Beckham Jr. on November 5th, Marie Curie on November 7th, Trey Smith on the 11th, and Miley Cyrus on November 23rd. Some famous deaths for November of 1992 are William Hillcourt, who was the man who wrote the Boy Scout Handbook, and he died at the age of 92. Huck Connors, who was a professional basketball and baseball player, died at the age of 71. And lastly, on November 19th, Dorothy Bush, which was President George H.W. Bush's mother. To go over some different prices in 1992 to give you guys an idea of what things were like, and so you can compare from now. The first one would be gas prices in November of 1992, and this average would be from the United States as well. The gas price for 1992 was roughly $1.12 per gallon, and the average price for a home in November of 1992 in the United States was $147,200, while the median was $128,900. The life expectancy in November of 1992 was 75.8 years, and inflation was 3%. Unemployment in November of 1992 was 6.8%, and the median household income was $30,636 in the US. A gallon of milk was roughly $2.78, which actually seems a little bit high for what I would be thinking, but that's just me. And a stamp was 29 cents, along with a dozen eggs, and that was 93 cents. As you can see, a lot happened in November of 1992. We had some deaths and some losses, but I believe overall that this was a great year. Women as a whole made strides, and people were sticking up and bringing awareness against racism. In 1992, this showed me that although we had many of the same problems that we do have today, we are working on them, and we're heading in the right direction, and we're demanding change. I just wanted to thank you guys for listening to me, and hopefully you guys learned something from this today. All right, have a good day.